Have you ever felt a chill run down your spine just by looking at an old, forgotten object? A doll with vacant eyes, a painting that seems to watch you, or a piece of furniture with a dark past. Some objects carry more than just memories. They carry secrets, energy, and sometimes a palpable sense of dread. These aren't just props from a horror movie. They exist, and they have left a trail of fear, tragedy, and unexplained events in their wake. Today, we're not just telling ghost stories. We're delving into the documented histories of 5 of the most terrifying haunted objects known to exist. From mysterious whispers in the dead of night to figures that move on their own, these items have tormented their owners and baffled investigators. We'll explore the unsettling origins and the chilling tales that surround them. So, turn down the lights, get comfortable, and prepare yourself. We're about to uncover 5 real haunted objects that have terrified anyone who dared to possess them. And make sure you stay with us until the very end, if you have the courage. Let's begin our countdown with number 5, Robert the Doll. Our story starts in Key West, Florida, way back in 1906. A wealthy family purchases a unique, life-size doll for their young son, Robert Eugene Otto, who quickly named the doll after himself. At first, it seemed like an ordinary friendship between a boy and his toy, but soon the household staff began noticing strange occurrences. They would hear young Eugene in his room, having conversations with the doll, and his voice would be followed by a completely different, lower-toned voice responding. The boy's parents dismissed it as childish imagination, but then things escalated. Toys in Eugene's room would be found mutilated. Furniture would be overturned. Whenever Eugene was confronted, his answer was always the same, filled with genuine fear. Robert did it. Neighbors reported seeing the doll move from window to window when the family wasn't home. As Eugene grew up, Robert the doll was relegated to the attic, but his influence didn't wane. Future residents of the home reported hearing footsteps and eerie giggling coming from the attic at night. Today, Robert the doll resides in the Fort East Martello Museum in Key West, encased in glass. But his story is far from over. Museum staff and visitors claim his expression changes, his head tilts, and some have even captured photos of him appearing to blink. It is said you must ask his permission before taking a photo. Those who don't have reported a string of bad luck, from car trouble to personal tragedies. Is it a cursed object or something more? Coming in at number 4 is an object that you don't even have to touch to be affected by. It's a painting known as The Hands Resist Him. Created in 1972 by artist Bill Stoneham, the artwork is unsettling from the first glance. It depicts a young boy with eerily vacant eyes standing next to a doll with a similar, lifeless expression. Behind them is a glass door with numerous small hands pressed against it from the other side. The artist based the painting on a photograph of himself as a child, with the doorway representing the barrier between the waking world and the world of dreams. But for those who owned it, it seemed to represent a portal to a world of nightmares. The painting was first displayed in a Los Angeles gallery, where the gallery owner, the art critic who reviewed it, and the first person to purchase it all reportedly passed away within a year. Years later, the painting resurfaced on eBay in the year 2000. The sellers, a family from California, included a chilling description. They claimed that the figures in the painting would move during the night, sometimes disappearing from the canvas entirely. The young boy was said to step out of the painting and into the room where it was hung. Their young daughter repeatedly told them that the children in the painting were fighting and would come into her room at night. They even included photos as proof, showing what appeared to be the doll brandishing a weapon at the boy, something not present in the original artwork. The eBay listing went viral, terrifying thousands online. The current owner keeps it in storage, but the legend of the haunted painting lives on, a chilling reminder that some art is best left unobserved. Our third entry takes us into the modern age of paranormal terror. Number 3, Toshiko's possessed phone. This story originates from Japan and is a staple of modern urban legends, but its roots are deeply unsettling. It centers around a young woman named Toshiko who started receiving calls from an unknown number. When she answered, there was only silence at first, then a faint, raspy whisper. The voice would say just one thing: "I'm watching you." Terrified, Toshiko tried to block the number, but it was always different. She tried tracing the calls, but they led nowhere. The numbers didn't seem to exist. The harassment was relentless. The phone would ring at all hours of the day and night. The whispers grew more menacing, sometimes describing what she was wearing or doing at that exact moment. The true horror began when she started unplugging her landline from the wall before going to bed. The phone still rang. Neighbors confirmed hearing it, a shrill, incessant ring piercing the silence of the night, even when the phone was physically disconnected from any power source. The psychological toll was immense. Feeling constantly watched and hunted by an unseen entity, Toshiko eventually abandoned her apartment, leaving everything behind, including the haunted phone. The apartment has remained vacant ever since. Locals say that if you walk by the building on a quiet night, you can still hear the faint, phantom ringing of a phone that has no business making a sound, forever waiting for someone to answer its call. Number 2, we have an object whose terror lies not in what is known, but in what is unknown. This is the story of Charles Carver's suitcase. In the late 1990s, a couple exploring an abandoned house in a rural part of the United States stumbled upon a dusty, old-fashioned suitcase hidden under a floorboard. Inside, they found a collection of personal items, faded photographs, letters, a small journal, and a few peculiar trinkets. The journal belonged to a man named Charles Carver and detailed a life filled with sorrow and obsession with occult practices. The new owners, fascinated by the find, took the suitcase home. That was their first mistake. Almost immediately, strange things began to happen. They would hear disembodied footsteps walking through their house at night. Shadows would dart across their peripheral vision. Objects in their home would be moved or rearranged when they weren't looking. But the most terrifying phenomena were the voices. They reported hearing whispers that seemed to come from the suitcase itself, sometimes calling their names, other times speaking in a language they couldn't understand. One owner claimed to have been awoken by a voice speaking directly into his ear, telling him to get out. Over the years, the suitcase has passed through several hands, but no one has kept it for long. Each owner reports the same escalating paranormal activity, a feeling of being watched by a malevolent presence, and an overwhelming sense of dread that forces them to get rid of it. The suitcase's current location is unknown, passed from one terrified owner to the next. What secrets are locked within Charles Carver's journal, and what entity remains attached to his belongings? Perhaps it's better that we never find out. And now, for our number 1 most terrifying haunted object, the Lakenheath Haunted Couch. This story comes from a quiet Royal Air Force base in Lakenheath, England. In the early 2000s, a family living on the base bought a second-hand couch from a yard sale. It was a simple, unassuming piece of furniture, but it brought something truly sinister into their home. The terror began with the children. They started complaining about seeing figures sitting on the couch when they would wake up in the middle of the night. They described shadowy people who would just sit there, watching them, before fading away. The parents initially dismissed it as nightmares, but then they started experiencing things themselves. The couch would physically move on its own. They would find it shifted several inches from its original position overnight. Objects placed on the nearby coffee table would be thrown across the room with force. Chilling whispers seemed to emanate directly from the cushions of the couch, and a constant feeling of being watched permeated the living room. Frightened, the family contacted paranormal investigators. During their investigation, the team discovered the couch's horrifying history. Through historical records and psychic mediums, they learned that the couch had belonged to a member of an occult group. It had been used as a central altar in dark rituals and ceremonies. The investigators concluded that these rituals had opened a doorway, attaching several malevolent entities to the object. The family was advised to destroy the couch immediately, but they were too terrified to even touch it. They moved out, leaving the couch behind. As far as anyone knows, that haunted couch remains in that abandoned house today, a silent throne for the dark entities that claim it. Sitting on it is said to be extremely dangerous. So there you have it, 5 objects that prove some things are better left alone. From a doll with a sinister gaze to a couch used in dark rituals, the paranormal world can attach itself to the most ordinary of items Which of these stories sent the biggest shiver down your spine? Was it Robert the doll's changing smile, the moving figures in the painting, the phantom phone calls, the mysterious suitcase, or the haunted couch? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you think. If you enjoyed this journey into the unexplained, please give this video a like, subscribe to our channel, and make sure you ring that notification bell. We dive into real-life horrors, haunted mysteries, and chilling tales every single week. And you won't want to miss what's coming next. Thanks for watching, and remember, some objects are more than just objects. They're waiting.